Welcome. The Voyage to Paradise Island is a story taken from my book, Conscious Kids, and I've adapted it as a meditative story for people of all ages. Before the voyage begins, allow your body to become still enough to really listen. Let your breath move in its own quiet rhythm. As the story unfolds, the mind may wander from time to time. It may drift into thoughts, into memories, plans, or questions. I want you to know that this is part of the practice. When wandering is noticed, your attention can return gently to the story, to the images you see in your mind, to the feelings, and to your breath moving softly through your body. These stories are designed to create an opportunity for you to practice developing your awareness of thoughts and of the sensations you feel in your body. Allow the story to become a portal into your subconscious mind, where it can gently transform beliefs, patterns, and habits that are no longer serving you. So get comfortable, take a nice big deep breath, close your eyes, and let us begin now. The Voyage to Paradise Island. On a small, windswept island, where the sea shaped every life, lived a boy named Nathaniel. His people were content with the same rhythm day after day. They fixed nets, caught fish, cooked simple meals. They told the same stories their grandparents had told before them. No one wondered much about what lay beyond the horizon. No one except Nathaniel. Nathaniel's heart was restless. At night, when the village slept, and the tide breathed against the shore, he would lie awake beneath the great starry sky, filled with questions he could not put away. Why are we here? What else is out there? What is calling me? But whenever he asked, the elders laughed kindly, and sometimes not so kindly. "Your head is full of clouds," they said. "Best to keep your feet on solid ground." Even his own family shook their heads. They loved him, but they did not understand the ache inside him. The strange pull towards something far beyond the familiar shore. And so, Nathaniel often felt like a stranger among his own people. Across the horizon, there was a place he had only heard of in whispers. Paradise Island. They said its fruit trees bent beneath the weight of ripe sweetness. Its springs ran clear and cold from the mountains. Its skies held the warmth of summer all year long. But they also said almost no one made it there. Storms swallowed ships. Winds spun sailors in circles. Even the finest captains had vanished trying to find it. To most people, Paradise Island was only a dangerous legend. But to Nathaniel, it felt like a promise. He began spending long hours at the harbor, watching sailors trim sails, tie knots, study clouds, and read the moods of the sea. One afternoon, an old fisherman with a white beard and eyes as calm as a tide pool called out to him, "You've been staring at boats for months, boy. Come here and make yourself useful." His name was Doc. His hands were tough as rope. His movements were slow and steady, as though the sea itself had taught him how to move. From that day on, Doc began teaching Nathaniel. Not only knots and currents, not only sails and stars, but lessons that reached much deeper. "There are always two problems," Doc told him one afternoon as they repaired a torn net. "The outer one is the wind, the waves, the leak in the boat." He tied one knot, then another. "The inner one is fear, anger, panic. Always fix the inner one first." A calm sailor can repair a broken mast. A panicked one can sink with a perfect ship. Nathaniel listened. The wind moved gently through the ropes, loosening and tightening them in small, patient waves. Doc taught him to notice discomfort before it took command. A tight chest, a clenched jaw, a hot face, a breath that had become too fast. "When the storm starts inside," Doc would say, "let it move. Don't lock it in. When the inner waters clear, the way forward becomes easier to see." One windy morning, the ropes Nathaniel was coiling whipped into a knot so tight it made his fingers ache. Frustration rose at once. His jaw tightened. His breath sharpened. Doc glanced over. Inner problem first. Nathaniel stopped. The sea moved in and out against the rocks. The wind passed through. His shoulders dropped. His hands softened. And then the knot, which had seemed impossible a moment before, began to loosen. Another day, far from shore, Nathaniel hooked a fish so strong it nearly pulled the oar from his hands. Panic jolted through him. "Breathe first, then act," Doc called. Nathaniel planted his feet. The boat rocked beneath him. The fish pulled. The sea rose. His breath steadied. Slowly, he guided the boat until the fish tired. Once, a fog rolled in so thick that the harbor disappeared completely. Nathaniel's chest tightened. The world became white and silent. Eyes can't help now, Doc said. Trust the compass. Trust your training. And remember the North Star. Even when clouds hide it, it hasn't disappeared. Nathaniel held the compass in both hands. The needle trembled, then settled. The fog pressed close. But the boat kept moving. And after a while, the faint outline of home appeared. Years passed. Nathaniel grew strong in body, steady in mind, and anchored in a calm that did not depend entirely on the weather. At last the day came. His family begged him to stay. The elders warned him. The village gathered at the shore, shaking their heads as he loaded his small boat with water, dried fruit, rope, tools, and a compass Doc had placed in his hand. Keep your eye on what is true, Doc said. Nathaniel nodded. Then the sails filled. The island slipped behind him. For 3 days, the sea was kind. Fair winds carried him forward. Sunlight scattered itself across the waves. At night, he followed the stars and slept beneath a blanket that smelled of salt and smoke. Then the sky darkened. Clouds gathered like mountains. By the 3rd night, the storm was monstrous. Rain whipped his skin. Waves rose like walls. The mast groaned. The compass spun wildly in his hand. Fear surged through him. For a moment, everything Doc had taught him disappeared. He grabbed at ropes, shouted into the wind, fought the sea as if he could overpower it. Then, beneath the thunder, a memory returned. 2 problems. Fix the inner one first. Nathaniel froze. The storm still raged around him. But inside, something began to listen. He lowered himself into the boat. The rain struck his face. The waves lifted and dropped him. His breath came hard at first, then slower. Not calm because the sea was calm. Calm because somewhere within him, a deeper place had remembered. And from that place, he called out, not to the storm, but to the mystery beyond it. Help me! I can't do this alone. Lightning tore open the sky. For one brilliant instant, he saw her. A great winged figure rising from the waves, vast and luminous. Her arms opening wider than the storm itself. Then the boat shattered. The roar faded. The water softened, and darkness took him. When Nathaniel woke, warmth pressed against his cheek. Sand, soft, golden sand. His boat lay broken nearby. The air smelled of flowers, salt, and ripe fruit. Kneeling beside him was Doc. Nathaniel tried to speak, but no words came. Doc only smiled and pointed inland. Follow the stream until it bends east. Climb the ridge, you'll see the village. Nathaniel blinked, and Doc was gone. No footprints in the sand. Only wind, only waves, only the broken boat beside him. So Nathaniel followed the stream. It ran clear and sweet through bright green leaves. Birds flashed between branches. Fruit hung low from trees, heavy and fragrant. When the stream bent east, exactly as Doc had said, Nathaniel climbed the ridge. Below him was a village cradled by flowers and palms. People came running to greet him. They gave him water. They fed him. They welcomed him as if he had always belonged. For a month, Nathaniel lived among them. He fished in warm blue water, drank from clear springs, laughed beneath starlit skies. He ate fruit so sweet it seemed filled with sunlight. At first he thought, this is it. This is the happiness I've been chasing my whole life. But one evening, while standing alone on the shore, the old longing stirred again. Softly at first, then more clearly. somewhere else, something more. Never enough. Nathaniel closed his eyes. The waves moved in, the waves moved out. And this time, he recognized the voice. It was the same voice that had whispered from his childhood shore. The same voice that had made him believe happiness lived only beyond the horizon. He understood. Paradise Island was real, but it was not the final answer. No island could end the restless search if the storm inside remained unseen. The real treasure had been hidden in Doc's teachings. Calm the inner waters first. Trust the compass. Remember the North Star. And know that even when winds and currents carry the boat somewhere unexpected, the one who remembers cannot be truly lost. That night, Nathaniel stood at the edge of the sea. The scent of salt and flowers moved through the warm air. Above him, a streak of light crossed the sky, a shooting star falling toward the horizon. His chest warmed. Somehow he knew Doc was there, not as he had been, but as guidance, as memory, as the quiet light that remains when fear has passed. "Thank you," he whispered, with a hand on his heart and a tear running down his cheek. He smiled, and the waves answered in their ancient rhythm. In, out, arrive, release. And in his heart, the same peace he had felt in the storm rose again. Steady, quiet, wide as the sea. It was the kind of peace that did not depend on staying or leaving, finding or losing, arriving or beginning again. It was the kind of peace that could travel with him anywhere. And beneath the stars, on the shore of Paradise Island, Nathaniel finally understood. The voyage had not only carried him across the sea, it had carried him home to himself. And when you are ready, gently come back to the room. Come back to your body. And gently open your eyes.